Yes, people. What's going on? What's going on, man? Welcome to the weekend. Welcome to the Flex's View. Smash a like on the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Welcome back to United View. It's my Flex's View, man. It's my first one since this whirlwind of a week has come to an end. And I say come to an end, obviously we still got tomorrow against Chelsea, which is, you know, the biggest thing or the second biggest thing, whichever way you want to look at it. But in the wake of Ruben Amorim speaking, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about some of the quotes that he had to talk about, that he had to say, should I say. And Erik ten Hag's farewell letter, man. He penned a letter to the fans to let us know how he was feeling, which I thought was quite classy. It's the right thing to do from his part of view. I didn't mind that. I didn't mind it at all. And I want to go through it and then, of course, get to what Ruben Amorim was saying after Sporting's win last night, which was emphatic, by the way. Gyökeres is... Hear me out. Hear me out. But anyway, let's get back to Erik, man, very, very quickly. He wrote a letter to the Man United fans, and this is what he said. He said, "Let me start by thanking you. Thank you always for being there for the club. Whether it was at a game far away or a tough match at Old Trafford, your support has been unshakable. The atmosphere at Old Trafford has always been electrifying thanks to you. I felt it many times. Also in away games, it gave the team and me an incredible feeling to hear the United chants taking over opponents' stadiums, whether the game was in England, Europe, or during summer tours. I always enjoyed meeting Man United fans throughout the world, walking the streets and being able to chat with fans in England, Europe, Asia, and America. You inspired me and radiated a strong sense of unity. That's what makes United supporters so special. I want to thank you for giving me this feeling and for your support. I also want to thank the staff in every department of the club for their unwavering support in good times and bad. We won 2 trophies, achievements that I will cherish for the rest of my life. Of course, my dream was to bring more trophies to the cabinet. Unfortunately, that dream has come to an end. I wish all Man United fans nothing but success, trophies and glory. Your support and warmth I received from everyone at the club helped me feel at home. Thank you for this chapter in my life." So that was Erik ten Hag yesterday evening. And you know what? It's what you'd expect. You know, I think that's nice of him. I think it shows that he does. It shows what type of man he is. He does have class. He does have honor. You know, he defended himself right to the end. He defended us right to the end, and it didn't go well at the end. And you know, I was questioning, why is he saying this and this, that, and the other. But essentially, he's just showing his gratitude. He was very warmly received. He was very much welcomed. And you know what? In terms of him meeting fans in the street and, you know, around the world, he would have felt absolutely that love from being in the Manchester United dugout. He would have felt that love all around the world. You can't not when you're Man United manager. That's what the biggest club in the world does. You know, they show love to the manager, especially in the beginning of his tenure / middle, you know, before we got to where we got to. And I think every fan, no matter what you think about how he did and how it ended, you know, we're definitely pleased we won 2 trophies, you know, definitely. Especially that FA Cup, you know, that FA Cup win is something that I will, you know, remember for the rest of my life. That's what football's about, the big moments, and it's about trophies. It is about doing well in the league and not being 8th and 14th respectively, which is obviously why he's lost his job. But overall, he can walk away from his time at Man United and he will be remembered because he won stuff. He you know, it's all right. Ollie will always be remembered just because he used to play for us and he's a United legend. And he managed us in that period. But in terms of legacy of putting trophies in the cabinet, his name will always be there. And for that, he can be proud of that. You know what I mean? To win something at Man United, to win an FA Cup final against Manchester City, against Pep Guardiola, that was an amazing day. And to have Kobe and Garnacho score the goals that night, that day, was massive. And we'll never forget that. And obviously the Carabao Cup, at the first time of asking, first trophy available to him, and he won it. So yes, I like it. He's bigging up the fans, and you know, he's being respectful, and I think that we should thank him for that and wish him best in the future as well. And I definitely do. Although I was angry towards the end, thinking like he's got to go. It weren't a personal attack on him as a person, just as a manager. For us, it was clear that it was over and it was time to move on. And I actually think he will be successful on the continent somewhere else. You know, if he goes back to Netherlands, I'm sure he'll be fine there. If he goes to Portugal or Italy or Spain, you know, wherever it is, I think Erik ten Hag will win trophies. I think he's right. But for us, it just did not fit. So yeah, wish Eric all the best. He was always polite. One thing I will say, he was always polite. Anytime we were around him, of course, with what we do when we're part of the traveling media for certain, you know, trips for Man United. When you see him, like, not just in the presser, like when you see him in the corridor, you see him in a room when the cameras aren't on, etc. He'll always come and say hello, have a little chat, and always acknowledge, well, certainly me and Josh, and anytime we've been around him. So from that point of view, wish him all the best. Now on to Ruben Amorim, because he had loads to say. He had loads to say. It was the first time he spoke. And you know what, guys? I can't lie. I liked what I heard, man. I liked what I heard. He said, I want to start with this bit, what he said here, Ruben Amorim speaking after their, I think it was 4-1, I think they won. He said, I asked Man United if it could be at the end of the season. It was what I wanted. United said no. It was now or never. Yeah, so I had to make a decision. This is exactly the context I wanted, because I can do things my way. And the context as in United doing badly, so he can come in and just do what he needs to do. He also said, I've had other opportunities. The president, Hugo Viana, can confirm this. This is not the first or the second time I have been requested. After Sporting, I wanted Man United. There's a time I have to take a step forward. It was hard. I had to do this. People say it's about the team. There was another team that wanted me before, and they were willing to pay 3 times more than Man United. City step outside. Yeah. Liverpool step outside. I mean, to be fair, that's probably why Liverpool walked away, but the story sounds better saying that they tried to pay double or 3 times more than what we paid, and he still turned them down because he wanted us. The West Ham thing, I don't think West Ham would have been able to pay 3 times more than what we were paying. I'll be surprised. But, you know, Liverpool and City, it could be someone else, who knows? But those are the names we heard. He said, I had 3 days to decide on something that would completely change my life. It's not the first time I've had my clause paid by another club, nor the second. This is a man in demand, guys. This is a man in demand. But let me go back to this bit here. I asked United if it could be at the end of the season, because he said he wanted to go at the end of the season. There's also another quote that says he told Hugo Viana, sporting director, that this is my last season no matter what. He was obviously close to leaving last year. He says that people have paid the release clause before. This is not the first nor the second time. And he said that, you know, teams have played 3 times more than Man United. And he said the sporting director can confirm. If you don't believe me, ask them. But I said I wanted to stay one last season. But guess what, guys? You know what? This is where we do have to look at Ineos. This is where we have to look at Omar Barada, who I believe is the one who, you know, sacked Erik ten Hag and then jumped on a plane and went to Lisbon and went and locked in these deals. But not just him, but the footballing structure. They've been ruthless. They've gone in there. They've said to their man, we want you. He's gone, can I just come at the end of the season? They said, no, it's now or it's never. And they got the deal done. We'll pay the release clause. We'll get the negotiations, but we need an answer for you within 3 days. They ain't messing about. Could you imagine these negotiations, or these type of negotiations, taking place under Ed Woodward or the old regime? You know, okay, yeah, come at the end of the season. Then in January, probably start spending money frivolously on players that are nothing to do with this manager. But I think that they deserve a lot of credit for that. They deserve a lot of credit for that. I've spoken about some of the things that I think we should talk about in terms of them maybe not doing as good as they probably should have done, in terms of the decision to not get a new manager in the summer, spending over 200 million for Eric and then only sacking him a few months after that. That will go down as an L. Like they misjudged it. You know, you can get decisions wrong, and that's a big one to get wrong very early in your tenure as you know, football, as the football department. But from what we're hearing from Ruben Amorim, these men weren't playing about. They gave him an ultimatum. They said, no, you can't come at the end of the season. That's not an option for us. We want to move forward now. We want you. If you want to come to us, it has to be now. And what Ruben Amorim is also showing us is that it's a difficult decision. He doesn't really want to have to leave in the middle of the season. But essentially, he's saying, this job is too big for me to turn down. Now, yes, with the greatest respect to Sporting, you know, fantastic football club, huge football club, and look what he's done with them. You know, the job of Man United is always going to be bigger than the one at Sporting. Of course it is. But he's also spoke about how he's ready to take this step, and he was not going to let this opportunity pass him by. That shows us that he's driven. That shows us that, you know, he wants to grasp the opportunity while it's there, and said I had 3 days to make a decision that's ultimately going to change my life, which it is massively. And he made the decision to join us, guys. You know what I mean? He wants to be there. So I think from that point of view, you have to say, you know, fair play. He wants to come here. But it's just very interesting the way that he said he asked if it could be next season. I'll pull up some more of those quotes because there was some more I wanted to do as well. He asked if it could be next season, and Omar Barada and co went, no. You know what I mean? No. He also said, this is from Romano, he said, some people say I joined Man United for money. It's not. Other clubs were prepared to pay 3 times more, and I refused, as this is the club I wanted, Man United. So you're not getting someone, you know, when people say, oh, he just hung on for the money, or, you know, it's this, that, and the other. He said, some people say I joined United for the money. It's not. The man's telling you, other clubs were prepared to pay 3 times more, and I refused. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna just go on a thing and like that and make big bold claims like that and lie. He said, ask the directors if you don't believe me. Do you know what I mean? And if we're speculating about who those clubs can be, well, we know that in the summer, the clubs in question were West Ham, Liverpool, and Man City. And what I would say to you, just for a bit of fun, is I'll leave it to you to work out between those 3 who decided they were going to pay 3 times more than what we're paying now. I'll leave it to you. You know what I mean? West Ham got money, but what, 3 times more than what we're paying them? What are we giving them? Like 10 million euros, something like that? Was it 10 million pounds? Whatever it is, plus the package for his coaches, plus the compensation that he doesn't have to do the 30 days notice period. So whatever that equates to, times that by 3. Do you think West Ham did that? I probably don't think they did. Personally. Liverpool, to be fair, Liverpool ain't really on being held to ransom and paying loads for players, that's for sure. They don't do that. But we know they were there. We know they were there at the table having conversations, so think of that what you will. When it comes to peas, Man City ain't got no problem in terms of paying 3 times more. So this guy, what we can say, right, and again, I'm not going overboard and stuff, but what we can say is Ruben Amorim is a man in demand, was a man in demand as we got him, in demand by us, but also other clubs. People have tried to come in and pay this guy's release clause already. Do you know what I mean? Because they want him, you know? He said Manchester United appeared and they paid above the release clause. So we still paid more than what his release clause actually is. I was told it was now or never. I had 3 days to make my mind up and decided to accept. It was impossible to refuse. Do you know what I mean? The only request I made to Sporting President was for it to be at the end of the season, he said. I was told that it wasn't possible, that it was now or never. And again, I had 3 days. That was from Laurie Whitwell. So I think that's pretty much it for the quotes. Amorim on Man United struggling, though. This is a bit of context. He goes, well, this is exactly the context I wanted because I can do things my way. When I first read that, I thought, what? So he just wants us to be shit? But I think what he means is that it's, you know, it's not a team that's doing very, very well where he can't put his imprint on it, etc., etc. He's coming in with a team doing really, really poorly. So it's from now on, from here on out, it should just be an upwards trajectory where he can really get his fingerprints on it, where he can really get stuck into this job and start, you know, doing what we know what we can see he's been capable of. He also says, I'm going to take my coaching staff with me at Man United. They're absolutely key for me. We've been together since Casapia. It was one of the conditions, so we know that he's bringing his coaching staff as well. Is there any more quotes I'm missing? There was one from Victor Gyökeres as well, who basically said that we're going to miss him, and they said about they said about oh sorry, it was 5-1 they won last night. They asked him about if he was going to join him, Ruben Amorim, at Man United, and he goes, look, I don't know, I'm happy here, etc., etc. We wish him all the best. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm looking at Gyökeres and I'm like, he's good, man. This guy is good. Just double checking I haven't missed any of the other ones. He says it was an extraordinary enticing challenge that I couldn't refuse. I'm going to take my coaching staff. I read that one already. Some people say it's for money. It's not. I've read that one already. I asked United if it was at the end of the season. We know that. I've had other opportunities. The president and Hugo Viana can confirm this. This is not the first or second time I've been requested. He's basically saying people have wanted me for time. Yeah, I mean, I've turned down opportunities. I've turned them down because they weren't right for me. I didn't want them at the time. But guess what? Man United have come and I couldn't fucking turn it down. That's what that's just sum it up as that. That's what it is. After Sporting, I wanted Manchester United. He said it. There's a time I have to take a step forward. It was hard. I had to do this. Simple as that. He's saying there was no other option. Man United came. They gave me a now or never. And the answer's now. So there you go. Sam Wallace from Telegraph said that Omar Brada sacked Erik ten Hag on Monday morning and then boarded a flight to Lisbon to tell Sporting face-to-face that Manchester United wanted their manager Ruben Amorim. So, yeah. You know, he also said, I've received reproaches from many clubs in recent months, but the club I wanted was Man United. There is no Sporting fan who wanted me to stay until the end of the season more than I did, but it wasn't possible. So his intention, like I said, clearly was to not leave Sporting in the lurch, not leave mid-season and go at the end of the season having probably won another title and sail off into the sunset into his dream job. But guess what? In football, in the world of work, in the land of opportunity, it doesn't always go like that, guys. You have to be ready. I say that in life. Do you know what I mean? You don't know how your life's going to turn out, but you have to be ready to grasp opportunities that come your way. Ones that you may not have thought would ever come or would come at the time that they did. You got to be brave. You got to be thinking on the front foot. You got to be positive, and you have to be ready to grab opportunities. I think that about life, and it's definitely the same in the way of work. You know. He said, my choice was to go now because I was told it was now or never, and I had to make my choice. The club said if I rejected it now, in 6 months, I wouldn't get it. And in 6 months, I knew I would leave Sporting. So, again, he's been told it's now or never. It's that simple. So, yeah, I had 3 days to... Yeah, I've read that one. People say it's about the team. There was another team that wanted me before, and they were willing to pay 3 times more than Man United. So he wasn't shy. The only thing he didn't talk about is the squad and you know what he's going to do there, etc., etc. He's still got to have his mind there. But listen, I'm excited. If I could join the end of the season, it was what I wanted. But Man United said no. Yeah, it was now or never. So there you go. There you go, peeps. Our new manager's on the way in. He's spoken really, really strongly in his press conference, his post-match press conference yesterday, and just said how it was. I think to sum that up, we have to big up Ineos with how they've handled this particular situation, how quickly it got it done. Eric, a big thank you and very classy of you to write a letter to the fans. That was a nice touch. And now we just look forward. And now we're on Sporting Watch for the next few games until, the 11th of November. We're on Sporting Watch. We're going to watch all the games. You know what I mean? Let's see what they do against City on Tuesday. We'll be watching. We will be watching. We will be there. Right, guys, I'm out of here. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm gone. Peace.